Hello everyone, welcome back. So happy to meet you again. In this video, we will be learning more about job interviews. The previous video must have given you an overview about why there is a need for job interview, whether the job interview is for freshers or how a fresher job interview is different from an experienced job interview. We have also seen different kinds of job interviews and how they are conducted. In this video, we will just see what are the stages that are involved in job interview. When I happen to say stages of a job interview, there are two different stages. One, the process. When I mean the process, it can be from an entry into the interview hall and the time you get out of the hall. What happens inside the job interview room? That is called the process. The second aspect that we will be learning today is the stages. By the time you meet the manager or the hiring manager, so what is the step involved in the interview? So these two things will be very much useful for you. And let's start with what is the step involved in a job interview. When I say steps, let us imagine that you are stepping into the interview room. So what happens as soon as you open the door? You will be given a comfortable seat. You will be waiting for the process to start. The recruiters will come and intimate, the recruiters will come and give an opening talk about the company. They will also very clearly mention what is the process they are going to involve today or on the particular day of the interview in recruiting you. The recruitment process varies from companies to company because a company X may have a different methodology of recruitment, which may have a group discussion, which may have a personal interview, which may have a hiring manager interview, whereas a company Y may not follow these standard structures. So basic thing that we must learn is the interview process differs from company A to company B. In general, let us learn what are the steps involved in a job interview. If you happen to look at the screen, you will notice one of the steps that is a very important step, which is a part of job interview, is group discussion. We also have a test which will check your skill, or in other words, I can say ability. There will be a technical interview. There will be a managerial interview. And finally, you will have a HR interview. These are the usual steps followed by the companies when they happen to come for a placement interview or you visit a company for a placement drive. But again, I repeat, this process may differ from company to company based on the policies. Some companies will have group discussion followed by a managerial discussion and with the HR interview. There are companies which starts with skill test followed by technical interview followed by managerial interview, and finally they will have HR. These companies will not have a group discussion. So let us understand the basic ideas about the steps. First of all, let's look into a group discussion. In our class, we also have a topic related to group discussion. If you happen to look into the video, that will give a very precise and very clear information about different aspects of group discussion. But in general, group discussion is conducted to test the soft skills of the candidate. When I say soft skills, it has numerous skills to be tested. It can be your communication, it can be your leadership skills, it can be your motivational skills, it can be your self-confidence. Why not? There are many soft skills, you must be well aware of that. Generally, a group discussion will give the interviewer how confident you are, what is your efficiency in managing or expressing yourself in a team or in a group. It will also tell them how good you are managing the situation, even with the worst topic that you are unknown about. So in Precise, group discussion will tell lot many things about you, skills that are most preferred for the industrial setup. The next important exercise or the step involved in an interview is called skill test. Usually some companies call this as skill test and some call this as ability test. But the method and the process involved in these two are same. Usually a skill test is very clearly defined. It is going to test your skills. What sort of skills do you think you will be tested? You will be tested in your mathematical skills. You will be tested with your communication skills. When we talk about skills, it involves many kinds of skills. Your general ability, how you uh, respond to a tough situation. So different kinds of skills are evaluated in the skill test. Don't even think that skill test is only for a fresher or who is entering into a company as an interviewee. Not like that. I personally know different companies, they have this skill test every year to check whether the current employees are updating. In case if they come to know that their skill is not in match with the vision of the company, what they do, they will not send the employee out. Rather, they will fix the gap by arranging different kinds of training programs for the existing employees. So skill test is not only for freshers, my dear, it's always a part of a company as well. And the very important thing, companies strongly believe that skill test is much better than having a face-to-face interview. I don't say whether it is right or wrong, or I don't want to make any justification here. But when we talk about skill test, it is going to check different kinds of skills the interviewee has. So naturally, that is going to give additional information about the particular candidate to the employer. So it saves a lot of time and it saves a lot of human resource as well. So that is the reason why companies think ability test or skill test is much better than a traditional interview as well. What are the different components of skill test? When I say components of skill test, let us understand what exactly will be tested in an ability test or a skill test. I have furnished some of the skills which will be evaluated during this test. And for your information, a skill test will be the first process of selection which will be conducted by all leading companies across the globe. When I say leading company, it can be a limited company as well as it can be a multinational company. They prefer to have a skill test by the time they start the interview process. Now let's see what are the skills that they are going to check in a candidate. They check the verbal skills, they check the reasoning ability that a candidate has, they check the numerical ability. In some cases, you might be from a different kind of engineering, or you might be from a background of management, or from commerce, or from economics. Though you are from different kinds of branches, they just check whether you really have some programming skills. In this modern world, we cannot escape by saying that, I'm from commerce, I don't have any knowledge about programming skills. A basic programming language like Python is very much required for young graduates like us. So programming skills is checked. And in recent days, we also have coding. It's another important area where the candidates are checked. Let me make it very clear, in case if you are applying for an interview from a management background, it is not mandatory that the company will have a coding interview or a programming skills interview, nothing like that. Or in other words, I can say programming skill test or coding skill test. That's an option. It depends on the company where you are applying. And again, it depends on the job that you are applying. Because some of the jobs, which is open category, they may expect a bit of programming skills or or a bit of coding skills from the participants or the persons who is seeking a job. So it's always good to have an idea about some programming skills as well, though you are not from computer background. And today, whether you are from a business background, whether you are from a language background, let us not say that I don't have programming skills. It's always good to update, to have some basic idea about at least one or two programming skills. That will be really useful for our career as well. Similarly, coding skills. I don't say it's mandatory, but it's always good. It will give an additional edge and it will add more value to your resume as well. So now let's see what are the skills exactly that is preferred by the industry. When I talk about verbal skills, the first skill which I want to talk with you about is verbal skills. When I say verbal, it's very clear that it's a language. When I say language, are they going to ask you something to talk? Yeah, definitely, but that is in the next part of the interview. Here, they will check your functional English. What is functional English? Are you capable of using your language skills in a day-to-day environment? Are you really efficient to read the information sent by the clients? Are you really understanding the communication that is sent from your boss to you? Are you having a basic knowledge to express whatever ideas you have in a very simple, clear, and effective communication? Are you able to write without any grammatical errors? Does your language is very simple, clear, to the point and to the core? Are you using at least limited vocabulary to express yourself effectively? So all these things clubbed together is called verbal skills, and you will definitely be assessed. The reason is very simple. As you are working or as you are planning to have your career with a multinational company, the business is going to be in English. And naturally, the company looks for a candidate who has a flair language skills. So my dear boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, have some interest to improvise on your language skills. That comes under verbal skills, which will be evaluated by top notches in the industries. The second skill is called reasoning ability. What do I mean by reasoning ability? So do you have skills related to problem solving? Are you really a good decision maker when there is a problem? Do you have ability in max patterns? Do you have proportional skills, or do you have visual spatial reasoning skills? So all these will be judged under one roof, which is called reasoning. It's very simple. You should try to find a solution for a problem, and you should be in a position to give a reason for your answers. That's very simple in a simple word. Whereas can be giving a solution based on calculations. It can be giving a solution on your logical skills. It can be different forms. But the whole idea is that, are you able to give a reason or a solution for a problem, real-time problem, which is derived from a lot of experience from the own company, or they must have taken from some agencies which deals with a lot of industrial problems as well. So they check whether you have reasoning skills. The next thing is called numerical ability. When I say numerical, it works with numbers. So I may not be good in numbers, but if you're planning for a better career with MNCs and with a multidisciplinary works, I'll give an example. Let's say that I'm from English, and when I happen to seek a job in a company like TCS, and that too, if I have some basic knowledge in programming, let's say that I'm applying for a programming job related to language, I cannot say that I don't know mathematics, I don't have any mathematical skills. Don't force me to do that. They don't want people like me. See, you must have a basic understanding about numerical skills ability as well. When I say numerical ability, the skills that is very much required for a person to be in a multinational company who is dealing with different kinds of clients across the globe should have an ability with maths. So that is what it means. When I say numerical ability, it can be calculation based with the number systems. It can be arithmetics. It can be elementary statistics. And again, they may ask us for data interpretation as well. Again, don't think that you will have questions from everything. Not like that. Something will be very basic for some of the positions. Their expectation will be very basic. For example, standard deviation, which is known to everybody. So as a teacher of English, I know what is a standard deviation. I know what is mean what are the different tools for statistics. Obviously, when an English teacher can talk about statistical tools, if you're from a business background, you know much better than me. You must be an expertise in that, as well as if you're from engineering background, you must have in-depth knowledge about mathematics because you had your engineering maths as well. So basic understanding about the numbers, that is next kind of evaluation you are likely to have as steps involved in the interview as well. And as I told you earlier, programming skills and coding skills, we are in the world, modernized world. So you cannot escape from making a programs, writing a program, or understanding a code. So again, it is not a mandatory for some of the job positions, but it's always good to have a basic idea about programming skills. And I can wisely tell you to go and fetch some certifications in basic programmings. I don't want you to be an expertise in that, but it's always good to have a basic understanding about programming skills, which is going to add a lot of value to your resume as well. And coding skills, we today I can tell my son or my nephew who is very young, they know very well about coding. And I have seen my neighbor's son who is at the grade 5. She can talk about coding as well. So as that is a pretending case right now, I think coding, let us not miss it. Let us have some basic idea about coding as well. Right. So hope you have understood what are the basic expectations from the interview panel, and we have also seen the steps involved where we'll be tested on different platforms, right from mathematical ability, verbal ability, programming skills, and why not coding skills as well. Now, coming to the next part of interview is called technical interview. The first one, what we have seen is ability test, where we have seen all verbal skills and everything. Now we will be looking into technical interview. So the word or the phrase itself is very clear. The interview will have a lot of questions related to technical aspects. If you ask me, sir, I am from a business background, what does this mean by technical to me? It's very simple. They are going to ask you questions only from your majors, not from anything on technology. When I say technical interview, so it is a common term that is used for engineering and science background. So when I say technical interview for people like you and me who are expertise in commerce, business, or languages, where they will be checking our efficiency or efficacy in our own areas of study. So this process will check whether you have a subject knowledge. In a simplified way, I can use this phrase as subject knowledge. You must have done a lot of projects. Either you are in your undergraduate level or postgraduate level or research level. You must have done a lot of projects. It can be a minor project, it can be a mini project, it can be a major project. We have different kinds of name for that based on the number of days that you work plus number of group members that you have. So we have different kinds of projects in different areas. So the focus of questions will be more from the projects that you have taken during your course of study. Let's say that you are in your postgraduate. They may ask you even about some of the projects that you have done as undergraduate level as well. And please be very clear with whatever projects you have done. Know about the platform that you have worked. Know about what are the pros and cons of the projects. What did you learn from the project, and what is it you want to communicate from your project to the world, to the business world? If you're from a business background, you try to say what is it you want to tell from your project to the business world, or at least to the corporates. That is the basic expectations they have. And again, they will be checking, have you done any internships during your course of study? Don't escape by saying that, sir, I'm a commerce student. I don't have internship. I don't agree with that, and nobody agrees with that. Today, there is opportunity for any branch of studies for internship. Please expose yourself to internships, and that is also one of the main criteria to judge and to evaluate you in the process of interview. When you say as a fresh year that I have experience in the industry with my internship, that is a plus for you. Other than the degree that you have, it is going to add a lot of value to you as well. So internship plays a very important role when it comes to the process of getting selected for the company as well. And the next thing is research. Are you interested or have you done any kind of research? Don't even think that research is something that you do in a PhD programs, or once you go to the company, you be a part of R&D research and development, where you develop product, develop a process. No. Don't think big and don't get worried about it. Have you started to write some articles? Let's say that you are from MBA, Masters of Business Administration. Have you started to write about international business or sales or marketing or accounts? Have you started to write some articles on theoretical aspects, or have you tested something and have you written as a paper? Those things will give more a positive impact about you when you say that, sir, I have written an article about business in today's world. The concept can be very simple, but it shows them that you are very much interested towards research. So boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, in case if you're looking for a better job, and I wish that you must start to write articles. You must have interest towards the research, because the future workplace needs people who has a lot of interest in finding new things and making sure that you help for the development of yourself as an individual, as well as you help for the growth of the company as well. When the company grows, automatically you're also going to grow. So research is one key area where you will be tested. So please focus on that. The next one is process and product innovation. What is process and product innovation? Sir, I have listened to these words. I have already learned this word, process innovation. What is process innovation? Have you really read or have you understood more about a process in an industry, or have you any idea about a product innovation? Have you discovered any new products, or have you modified any new products if you're from a technical background? If you're from a management background, have you given any useful information that has helped in development of the process involved in sales or process involved in accounts? Have you given any such idea in helping the process? Do you have any proof for that? That is called as process development. In case of engineering, they call as a product. Have you come out with any software, my dear boys and girls, or ladies and gentlemen? You have any products that you have tried to design? It can be a failure, but have you tried it? All these will be tested in the technical interview. So they will understand how good you are in your core subjects. And boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, please make it a point. You must be very strong, at least with any one area which talks more volume about you, which means that don't say, I know this, I know that, I know that, I know that, but at least try to say, I know this very well. You can ask me anything from this. This will give a very positive impact about you to the employer. So be thorough with at least one area which you claim that I'm very strong in that. So don't forget that. Right. The next interview is called managerial interview. Again, the phrase is very clear that you are going to have an interview with the manager. The manager may be the person who is looking for some team members, or he can be from the production department, he can be from the procurement department, he can be from the sales department. So definitely it is going to be an interview with the manager who is in need of you. So who is looking for young minds or experienced minds. So that's the reason why they are there. They know what is the expectation, what is the future of the particular department, and they're going to recruit very smart people like you and me. So that's the reason why there is a process called a managerial interview. Why there is a managerial interview? There they are not going to ask you only technical things. They are going to check whether you have a little bit idea about their expectation in their own department. Let's say that I'm in sales and I'm looking for somebody in sales. So I will check, do you have any knowledge in sales? If I'm in accounts department, I will just check, do you know anything about Tally or any other softwares? So I will check your technical skills as well as your other skills. I don't think you really suit into my team. If I happen to have an idea like this, then you are not in the job, because a managerial interview is a place where you will be checked with your efficiency in the technical area, as well as the manager concerned will check whether you can suit into his team or her team. So you know that is a place where your soft skills as well as your technical skills is going to be evaluated. So please be focused on that. And if the manager is satisfied, you are going to process to the next level, which is the final stage of the interview as well. So be very clear, be very cautious that you are going to be very smart in a managerial interview as well. Who will handle it? Again, I said it will be by an expert who has asked for a vacancy, or it can be by your own manager as well. And in future, you may be a part of his team as well. There is always more proportion that you may be a part of his team as well. And as I told you, they'll be checking whether you will really suit into the company, whether you will fit into the team. So that those are the skills they will judge by the way they ask you questions related to that particular core. So get ready for the managerial interview as well. The last part of interview, we have a HR interview. When I say HR, human resource, he's the one who will be talking with you about your personal life. How is your family, Sunny? How is your family, lady? Are you fully committed, or you often will take leave and go back to your home? So they will check in such a way that you will be committed to your work. You will not be absent too often. They'll ask you questions about your experience in your project. How was your experience in the industry if you are a fresher? Because as a fresher, they cannot ask you how was your experience in the previous company. So they will ask you, what is your experience in your internship? You went to that industry. How was it? What did you learn from that? So they'll be very polite, very cool people. HR people are really cool because they pretend to be very cool and they'll be observing you bit by bit. So don't have any loose talks with the HR. So we be focused and make sure that you talk to the point and talk very sensibly as well. They will talk about your education. They will ask you what is your interest. All these questions will indirectly help them whether he is attending just like that or for fun or to kill our time, or probably by taking this offer he may go to some other company for better salary. They will judge you very well, and they will ask you for your strength, weakness, and other things. SWOT usually. They will ask you for your SWOT as well. They will ask you for a general introduction. So HR will be really very fun. From one side, if you just see, you will think that, oh, they are so good, yeah, they were very so cool, no strict, they were so casual, but they judge you very well. So HR interview is one of the stages where you will be assessed. What we have learned about HR interviews, managerial interviews, technical interviews, we have seen what is numerical ability test, reasoning ability, plus we also seen verbal skills. So what I want to tell you is that not that all the companies will have all these tests like a group discussion and everything. It varies from company to company as well as it varies from their needs. I personally know some companies start with a group discussion and they simply move to the HR interview. So for them, they feel that it is very comfortable for them to judge you as an individual. Then they will send you to the HR interview, or worst case, they may call you for a personal interview as well. So I believe that you are very clear with the different levels we will be tested as interviewee. Now I want to take you a little bit into stages of personal interview. So when I say personal interview, this interview can be conducted by a manager or a HR. So it depends. Again, it depends on the company. But what I want to understand is how you should go about it, and who will take a role in each of these steps. If you happen to see, I have given you 5 steps here. Step 1 is called performance, performing starters. Who are these performing starters, or what do I mean by performing starters? Usually, when you sit in front of a HR manager or a production manager, you can start just by say, hello, sir. So you can give a very fair handshake. You can have a very positive smile and a very confident way of your gestures, your body pose, and you are the one who is really going to start. You are going to say, hello, sir, how are you? Hello, ma'am, how are you? It's been so good to meet you. Have very positive words. Be very clear, your body position, your gestures, everything should say them that I'm looking for a guy like you, I'm looking for a girl like you. That is called as performing starters. Your starting must be really good. You should perform in such a way that you are going to be in the good books of the recruiters as well, because that is a place where you are judged informally. So the second thing, creating discussion. Who will create this discussion? A discussion can be started by you, just by asking, sir, I am so fortunate that I'm here. So I'll be so happy to answer you on any of the aspects related to my job. So, or you can say, sir, I have seen your corporate website. It looks so good. When I was looking into your website, I have seen this particular information which was attracted me for coming to this interview. So you can be a discussion starter as well. The first thing, you have initiated the interview just by saying a cool, very polite way of introducing yourself. Now you are creating a short discussion with the person or the panel member who is in front of you by telling, so sir, I have seen. This gives them an additional information that you have seen the website, you have done your homeworks very well before you come here for the interview. That's really good. And the next part is collecting information. Who will collect information? Obviously, the interviewer who is sitting in front of you is going to collect information about you, where we were talking about technical information, personal information. It can be any kind of information. Again, that is the process number 3. Process number 4, performing the interview. Who is going to perform? It's you. It's you who is going to perform. Make sure that you give adequate information, very clear and crystal information about you when they happen to ask you about your personal information. In case if it is a technical information or the subject questioning, make it very clear. In case if you are not aware of the question, you please tell them, sir, I'm not sure about it. You can ask me with some other questions. It's always good to accept that you don't know that. And you tell them that very sure I will update you if it is going to be a part of this work. That's nothing wrong. Again, please have a sense of good listening, because if you're going to ask me, sir, can you repeat it? Can you repeat it? I don't understand. Will you please say it again? If you can ask it once in case if the voice is not good from the interviewer, you can always ask it. But if you're going to ask it too often, it is going to convey them that you are a very poor listener. Don't do it. So that is called performing the interview. Please pay attention. It is a core. It is very important step as well. Performance. You perform very well for whatever questions that is raised on your subject as well as your personal skills as well. The last one is closing. You give a thank you message saying that, sir, I'm really happy that I met you today. I had a very wonderful experience. I had a wonderful experience with you. You asked me these questions. These questions were really good. I never expected these things, because when I was checking in the websites, I was preparing myself, but the questions you asked is completely different, which was very new. It has given me very good insight. You give them a thanks message. I was so happy that I have learned new things today, and you tell them that I'll be so happy to be a part of your team, sir, in future. All positiveness. Again, the way you have started, remember the way you have given a very positive start. Similarly, have a very good closing for yourself. Hope I made it very clear. So this is called stages of a personal interview when you happen to sit in front of the interviewer. So today we have seen 2 important things. What are the steps in interview, starting from group discussion, verbal or reasoning, mathematical ability, skill. So we have seen many things. Similarly, we also seen how you perform or what is expected from you and how you are supposed to express yourself in the stages of personal interview. Hope the video was very useful for you, and I wish you the best. Happy to meet you again, and we'll be happy to meet you once again. In the next video, let's learn how to prepare and be very successful in the interviews as well. Thank you.